Thoughts never spoken, feelings never prices, truth never voiced.
Welcome to the Unspoken Voices Podcast with Chuck Ellis, where the rubber meets the road and the unspoken finds its voice. This is more than a podcast. This is a space for the thoughts you've been holding in, the conversation you've been avoiding, the feelings you've been struggling to explain. It's a platform for honesty, a safe place for courage, and voice for those who haven't found theirs yet. Here we don't run from real life.
We face it.
Whether you're calling in to share your story or listening because you're not ready to speak yet, this platform was built for you. So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about
what's really going on. This is the Unspoken Voices Podcast.
Boom. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all coming by and spending some time with me tonight as we dive into another segment of the Unspoken Voices Podcast. Today's conversation is about community, mentorship, and the power of transformation. But before we get into anything, I want to say first and foremost, I got to thank God for his presence in my life and for having us here today. And I thank for all of you for being here. And I'm glad to have you. I got to give a shout out to all my sponsors. So I'm going to give a shout out to my sponsors real quick. Okay, the shout out is done. That was a moment of silence because I don't even have no sponsors yet. So that was my little moment of silence, as I predicted I will have some sooner or later. So when I start speaking, when I give my shout out to sponsors, y'all will know that I got some. But until then, it'll be a moment of silence. And when they get here, they'll get here. Okay, so we talked about healing, talk about transformation, we talked about speaking your truth. In the last couple episodes, we're addressing the issues of the youth. And that's a very important issue because it leads into our future. But in doing so, it had me think about, who was out there representing the youth, or who was out there giving their life to help them become something. So, you got many people today growing up without guidance, without exposure, and sometimes without a support system. And they really need to see their full potential. But it's individuals in our community who step forward to help fill that gap. People who dedicate their lives to guiding the next generation. And I know that's hard to do when you have family and things like that, and you dedicate your life to helping impact the lives of others. Each one teach one, men grow and grad community, and we lift up. So today I'm joined by Mr. Willie Pole, the founder and Executive Director of F.O.C.U.O.S. It's a program focused on mentorship, life skills, and helping young people discover purpose and opportunity. And with that said, I want to bring on Mr. Willie Pole into the platform as I add him in.
Hey, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing pretty good. I was having technical difficulties, and I'm about to have something. I got to figure it out. I was on a thing, and I said, man, I had to get it together. And for some odd reason, my layout wasn't coming up right. And I'm like, well, there you go. You see me now?
I see you.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Well, welcome to the platform, my brother. I'm glad you decided you wanted to take the time out to spend some time with us, because you spend a lot of time with the kids. And I know, I want to be able to give you your flowers. I want to be able to tell you, we thank you as a community for the job that you're doing with the children that you're working with in your program.
Thank you. Thank you.
So without me saying a lot, I really want to know, could you tell us or tell the community tell us about Focus and what is the mission behind the program?
So Focus is a 501c3 located in Bolingbrook. We serve the Will County surrounding areas. We bounce back and forth among Chicago. We have a couple partners that we work with in Chicago. But our goal is to expose our at-risk, underserved youth to things that they will normally be exposed to because of their social economical upbringings. So with that being said, we do a lot of mentoring. We do a lot of events. We do a lot of programming. It's like we a mom and pops type organization because we don't have a lot of funds, so the funds that we do have come from our supporters from the community. We haven't really got grant funded or anything like that. So a lot come out of our pockets, but it's necessary for the youth that we deal with. And you didn't see some of the youth that we didn't deal with and some of the youth where they come from, because a lot of these organizations, they don't want to deal with the quote unquote bad kids or the kids that have troubles. They really don't have troubles. They have unaddressed trauma that's not being addressed. And so to do. Focus is not just an organization, it's a family. So you come here, it might be some disagreements and things like that, but we're not going to kick you out. We're going to keep it going because we family. We might have to put you on the shelf. That means put you out or put you, give you a little time out, but then you can come back once you get yourself together, understand that this is a necessary for you.
Okay. So when you talk about Focus, and yes, I was there. I seen how you work. I seen how everything came together. I seen the end result of the program, as far as not the end result, but what he made it into and what it's inspired to grow into. But a good question is, what inspired you to start the initiative? I mean, what inspired you to start Focus? Period.
Honestly, when I was in prison, I seen men in prison that had like talents that you wouldn't believe that they had. And when you think prison, you think the garbage of society, right? So I'm watching people make fire. I'm watching people create tools. I'm watching create audio. I said, man, we lost focus. And I'm like, if we had used our natural God-given talents, we probably could have been productive citizens in society. So when I came home from prison, I seen the same mindset that led us to prison. Okay. And I said, I had already started the idea of a program, but when I came home, I was like, it's time to put it into fruition. And so we started with basically like 10 kids, really listening to kids talk to each other about problems. And it was like, how does kids help kids handle their problems, take care of their problems? So we started having conversations. Me and my co-founder who passed away, Damon Neal. We started taking out 10 kids a month. I would say $500 a month, put it to the side, and we just started every month. We took kids out on trips and things where they wouldn't normally be able to go because they don't have the money. And what happened was we got kids that had little siblings, or they was watching their brothers, their sisters, they was latchkey kids, and we had to bring the latchkey kids with us. Then it was just all boys initially, and then it was sisters. So we started making a family out of it, and we started asking more people, more volunteers to come in and just be a part of it. And people started coming in, buying into the idea of it. And from there, it just kind of flourished into something that I know I'm proud of. I'm proud of right now because I'm proud of these young people and the fact that they now understand the reasoning for better living, change.
And with that being said, because I think you may have covered some of it, but I want to know, you serve a wide variety of children, different ethnic backgrounds, different economic status. I mean, it's just not to say, okay, well, these are underserved, underprivileged kids, because you do have kids or children that have means and support, but they they are misguided in so many ways, or they have certain issues. So I say, well, what are some of the challenges that these kids face as you see them today? If you would look at them, you say, well, what are the actual challenges that they are facing that bring them to you?
Trauma. Like, we all have a story to tell. And like, even though a lot of families may have migrated to Bolingbrook or out here in the suburbs, the trauma comes with you. You may be in a better financial situation than you was when you was a kid, but sometimes trauma never gets dealt with, and it becomes a generational curse. So some of these kids may be, quote unquote, what you might say, are they privileged, but they still got dealing with the same trauma. A lot of our kids have single parent homes, or they have drama going on in the homes that comes out in their lives. So it's not just to say it's a one size fit all program, because, you know, everybody comes from different demographics, and every person in our program has a story. And until you listen to that story, you won't know what their problems are.
See, and that's the thing. This is what I want the audience to know, because we talk about Bolingbrook, and you know, I want people, because right now, you know, this podcast is pretty much international, you know, like all over the world. So if I were to explain something, I say, well, all right, we talk about Bolingbrook and we talk about Chicago. We talk about different environments. So not to say that, and this is the thing to get me is, if you say you from Chicago, and everybody say, oh man, you from Chicago, well, that don't mean you the worst of the worst. That just means you from a place that has a bad name. It's some good in Chicago. Ain't no question about it. You know what I mean? And it's a mentality in certain areas that people carry with them and say, well, okay, well, we're going to move from the city or the hood to the suburbs. But in this instance, it's really not about like exactly where you from. It's how you conduct yourself where you at.
I'm gonna give you a prime example. You move to Bolingbrook, you can't park on the street at nighttime, right?
Right.
Every month you go to court in Bolingbrook, it's 100 people in there because they parked on the street, right? And the first thing they say is, in Chicago, now you ain't in Chicago no more, you in Bolingbrook.
Right.
And that's what happened with a lot of us. Like, we moved to Bolingbrook and we don't acclimate ourselves to Bolingbrook. And in the same token, Bolingbrook don't acclimate to us in a degree, right? So one of the things that I deal with on a regular, and it seemed like my mom moved to Bolingbrook probably about 40 years ago, right? Came out to Bolingbrook because Chicago school, we reading Dick and Jane books, right? I come out here, they reading whole book reports, right? So the kids get to want to tease me, make fun.
Oh, who's Dick and Jane, y'all?
You know, the Dick and Jane books. You know, we reading Dick and Jane books, the big word books. You know what I'm saying?
Like the big letters and stuff.
Yeah. So, you know, in Chicago, the education may not be up to
they don't invest the money in the school system as they should in order to give it to the kids to be better themselves. Is that what you're saying?
No, because in Chicago, you're gonna have to I'm not taking it away from Chicago teachers, right? But at the same time, the circumstances are a little bit different than Chicago and Bolingbrook for certain kids, right? Okay. So when you in Bolingbrook, you know, like even my son been raised in Bolingbrook since he was 1 or 2 years old. So he's went through the Bolingbrook education. So he probably read better than me right now. And he probably in 2nd or 3rd grade. But when I moved out here, what happened was I had a negative adjustment, because every day we used to fight in school in Chicago, right? Which is a norm, right? In Chicago.
Right.
You come out here, you get in one fight. They'd be like, whoa, what are you doing?
Right.
You know, it's a whole nother scenario now. And they want to kick you out of school, do things like that. And so I kind of found myself back in the Chicago school system, right? 40 years later, I'm seeing the exact same thing happen in the school districts. The kids move out here from Joliet, Maywood, Chicago, all the other suburbs, from other areas right around Chicago. They come out here. They get into a fight. They want to kick them out of school, period, right? Because it's like, hey, that's not what's tolerated out here, right? So they kick them back out. But what I'm trying to get the kids to understand too is it is a benefit to being out here for going to school. So you got to learn the law of the land, right? Just like we can't park on the street at nighttime. So you either gonna get an extended driveway on the side of your house, or you're gonna put them cars on the driveway to live out here, right? Because it's a whole different it's a different society out here than it is in Chicago, and the makeup of Chicago is different. So but what I try to work with these kids is exposing them to the benefit of being in a society like this. You know,
I get it.
I got a lot of friends that be like, you out there where you don't got to carry no gun. It don't even make sense, right?
You know, I mean, some people gotta carry guns, some people don't. But I mean, hopefully you don't have to carry one. You know, you can. I don't know, man. It's certain.
You in Chicago, man. Some of the things that's going on in Chicago because of the poverty. You know, people when nobody have nothing, they take from each other.
Yeah, I mean, and I look at your program, right? Because I'm saying, like, your program exposes the kids to like leadership skills, community service, life skills, right? And I know that exposure is very important. But like, say, like, and then you just don't do like small kids. You do teenagers. You got a reentry program. You know, people coming out of situation back into society and things of that nature. So you're doing a great work. And my thing is, like, you know, when I was that age, I was fighting. I could fight. Man, look, my trauma was this. If me and you looked at each other in the eye, right? And we could have a conversation, but you look at me dead in my eye. Something's wrong with that. I got a problem with that. And we fighting. Just because you looking at me in my face, like, I'm like, yo, what's wrong with you? Why are you looking at me like that? Right? And growing up, a man say you always supposed to look a man in the eye when you talk to him. But for me, when I had to deal with that, I had some trauma behind that. So it's like, yo, you know, look at me when I'm talking to you type of thing, but I'm ready to fight. So I got sent to like, what is it? Juvenile court. You know, I had to do probation and all that kind of stuff. But like, I see with your program, like, you helping kids navigate those type of feelings. You know what I'm saying? And the second part about it is like, for the parents who be struggling, overwhelmed, right? And you see the parents, because it's not just about the kids, about the parents too. Like, how does your program help guide or even incorporate the parents in the structure of what y'all doing?
So a lot of our parents have trauma. I'm just gonna label it trauma. And sometimes as an adult, we still need to be educated on how to deal with some things that we may be generationally cursed with. We might be just doing the exact same thing over and over again without, you know, not thinking about the damage that it's causing to the next generation. So that opened up the conversation for us, because the kids all want to come and focus. Now it's why the kids want to come and focus. Now sometimes we got to have the conversations with the parents, because the kids might can't have a conversation with the parents. So now we force relationship with the parents. And some of the parents, like, aggression. I'm on one situation, it was a situation where it was like aggression gonna be met with aggression. Like, if you always aggressing the kid might think that that's how it's supposed to be done in life, and they're gonna aggress you back. So we have to start having conversations, and some of the parents start toning down the way that they address the kids from an aggressive standpoint. And so, you know, we always working on trying to help the parents and the kids with their relationships, to help them develop their relationships.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's good, because, you know, I know what I found out is this, and I don't know how true it is with a lot of people, right? But it's like, you could raise your children, right? And you could tell them everything you want to tell them, but it seemed like they'll listen to somebody else and adhere to somebody else outside of the home more so than they would to you in your home.
Because you're the disciplinarian, right? So if you're a disciplinarian, it's like you don't know everything, right, to them, right? Because you're just disciplinarian. You just gonna discipline me for whatever I do, just because you just strict. But somebody else comes in and they start talking to them, and they don't look at them in that capacity. Like, they look at us like mentor. You know, I got that Focus phone strictly for the kids, the iPhone. So that phone ring all throughout the day while they in school. when they going through problems, when they about to run away from home, whatever they going on, they in DCFS, they in the prisons, wherever they at, they call that number because they know that it's going to get a real conversation, but it's going to come from a mentor capacity and not so much a disciplinarian. I'm not the one that's going to punish you. Like, I'm going to tell you your consequences, and you have to make a choice for yourself. At the end of the day, I can't be with you all day. I can't. So you got to make your own choices. Our job here is to give you consequences, tell you, if you do this, this may happen. If you do that, that may happen. Just to unfold the information to you. If you go to school, this can happen for you. If you go to college, this can happen for you. Like we got our youth mentor program, our liaisons, where the kids are helping us run the program. You know, they get a little stipend. I pay them a little money out of my pocket, $40 a day. Hey, you my admin assistant. You my program director. You my outreach organizer. You know, you contact the kids. And when you start giving kids roles like this, it start building up inside of them and giving them confidence that they never knew that they had. The one thing that like I stay on them about is not saying I can't. You can't say I can't over there. You can't say I don't know over here. You got to come up with an answer. And if you're gonna say something, say I haven't learned that yet. Don't say I can't do it. I just haven't learned that yet. Because we empowering over here. You know, these kids don't understand that they worth millions of dollars and they acting like sometimes that they only worth $1. They don't understand that. So we tell them and we show them how they're worth $1 million. Okay. You know, that's our goal. And that's what all the exposure does. Because when you get a certain I say community of individuals together, they think that you're supposed to act in a certain way, which is not always what's supposed to be done. Sometimes, you know, you had a times where you can party, you can do what you want to do, but at the other time, it's about business. And what we call is the we moment, right? The I moment is for you. The we moment is for us. When it's about business, it's about us. So that's the we moment. The I moment is about you. When you want to go and do whatever you want to do, that's your I moment. But when it's about us as a family, that's why we're not just an organization. We're a family, man. You know how we roll. We a family. So we never gonna kick you to the curve. Like a lot of the other programs. Somebody asked me the other day about your programs like the rest of the programs in Bolingbrook. I'm like, nah, the rest of the programs out here, they're gonna kick you out. They ain't finna have all that going back and forth with you.
Right.
You try to work it out because
I say y'all have y'all create a vested interest in all the children, even the families that come into the program. So that's a whole different type of level when you're dealing with. And I don't even know if I want to keep on calling it a program, you know, because it's like the way y'all orchestrate it. I don't want to call it it is a program, but I don't want to call it a program. You're right. It's a family. It's a unit. It's an organization. It's something that y'all build a whole structure together. And I can appreciate it. But you know what? What's amazing to me is that, you know, you are taking your time out your day. You're taking your finances out of your pocket. And you're helping other people's families conduct the future for their children. So for 1 minute, I'm a stop for a minute, and I'm reaching out to my audience as we speaking about it, because I want to let them know that this man right here is doing a great service to your families, to you, and to the community as a whole. And his organization, F.O.C.U.O.S, it has some sponsorship, but not enough sponsorship to keep it going like it should be. It has some representation, but not enough as it should be. So for those who are out there listening that are in tune with different resources, it don't have to always be monetary, but monetary helps get the bills paid. But y'all have resources, you know, to jobs. Y'all have resources to different type of things that the kids could use, you know, different affiliations. You know, just like you seeing him give his all, I'm asking that y'all, you know, step up, you know, look into the chat, you know, look up, get the information, www.focus.org, and Look on the website.
F-O-C-U-O-S. How
Yeah,
we
because
spell it?
don't ask me. F-O-C-U-O-U-S.
C-U-O-S. Focus on critically using our skills to be productive citizens in society. .org. Focus, F-O-C-U-O-S.org.
Hey man, did you just steal my plug? Yo, I was plugging you, bro.
I appreciate it.
But I had to say it right though.
Yeah, because they'll go looking at focus and then that ain't how it is. So
Yeah.
I know that anything that's I appreciate anything that's coming this way because we do this and it's it's not about the money because we've been doing it for over 6 years now. And by the grace of God, man, like sometimes I don't even know how we here. And then some of the things that we done, like this math tournament that we get ready to go back to in Boston this year.
Yeah, tell us about it.
So right now we fundraising for a math tournament. And when I say this, like people kind of look at like math. You guys doing math? Yeah, we doing prime factorizations turn to algebraic expressions turns to colors. And colors turn to a floor plan where the kids run and as a team and they see how many can do the most problems in a 1 minute, 2 minute time that they have. What's more eye-catching to me is that these kids are willing to do math, right? So you say, why? They say, because I get to travel. Every year we took kids for the last 3 years, I think we've been 3 or 4 years, we've taken kids to Boston. We went to University of San Francisco last year where the kids was in the dorms and they got exposed to things that they normally wouldn't get exposed to, right? And these kids are willing to do math. They're willing to do whatever they can to travel. This is their first time leaving the city, leaving Bolingbrook, leaving Chicago, leaving Illinois, and they get to fly and they get to go different places, see different things, experience different cultures and stuff. And so what I love about these kids is like, if we got to do math to get this done, I'm going to do math. Right. But what happens is it turns into something else, right? Because I just was informed that the algebraic expressions, the prime factorization turned into algebraic expressions is the first part of coding. So these kids are doing things that they don't even know that they're doing, but once you explain it to them, and it's the beginning of quantum physics. So now they like, man, we doing physics. Now the kids are having more confidence in their math. Coming out of COVID, everybody was getting Fs in math. So we don't have no Fs right now because everybody is focused and locked in on understanding how math works. Well, and that it's not hard as you think.
Well, I'd have probably had an F already because what you were saying didn't even make sense to me. And look, hey man, check it out. I'm cool with math, right? I can do the 1 + 1, but you talking about codes, algebraic expressions, things like that. I ain't slow, but I'm saying, I could do some improvement. You know what I mean? Yeah. I could count a few dollars out here and there. I know how to hustle some change or whatever the case may be. But when you talk about that kind of language, it's different. And children nowadays, like they growing up different. Everything computer age, but it seemed like to me, I don't catch me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like as you are helping them learn, you're also learning yourself.
It ain't no question I'm learning. Like these youth, they help me understand a perspective of life because like some of us get caught up in just the everyday rigmarole, right? We on the rat race, right? On the race, the mouse wheel. And we don't ever stop for a minute to see what life really is or what is our real purpose in life. And so these kids, these youth, they really have centered me on understanding what my purpose is. I walk in the room like I go to the prisons and stuff, right? The youth prisons. Yeah. And all the kids run up to me, Uncle Willie, Uncle Willie, Uncle Willie. I hit the school system. They Uncle Willie, Uncle Willie, Uncle Willie, right? Right. And in society, I'm supposed to be thrown to the garbage, right? Because I'm a convicted felon, right? But these kids come up to me and they let me know, like, it's not about your past or what you've been through. It's about the present time right now, what you can do and what you can give to this world right now. So right
Right.
now, I'm giving something that these kids are loving, enjoying, and it's building them up. It's just building them up, and that's all. That's the biggest growth process that I'm getting right now, and I'm learning. Like I'm learning, aggression will be met with aggression. Sometimes we can't go that way. Sometimes we got to have a conversation. Sometimes we got to understand what's happening. Sometimes we got to take a couple of deep breaths. Sometimes we got to just exit the scene, period, and come back.
And when you say that, and we talk about the transition and transformation that you made in your life, right? And as to like, because you go back into the prison system, and you go back and you reaching back in to build somebody up. So having been through that, and when you seeing that, I mean, how do you feel about that? Because you came out of that condition. So when
when I go back, every time I go back in there, man, I see us. I see myself. I see you. I see everybody that's in my community I can see all of us. People that ain't never been to prison before, I can see them in there because you see the personalities, right? And so when you see the personalities, you be like, man, let me try to help them in some type of capacity. So it's the conversation. And I always come in asking, what do you need? What do you need? You know what I'm saying? I can't bring no drugs in here. I can't bring nothing illicit. I'm not doing nothing wrong. But what do you need to help you manage from a day-to-day basis? And sometimes it's just a conversation. Okay, let's have that conversation then. But if we're going to have a conversation, let's have a productive conversation. Let's talk about growth.
And then when you talk about that, I'm talking about two different aspects of it, because now you found your focus. You found a calling, you found certain things. So when you go back into, say, a unfavorable environment, right?
Yeah.
Somebody might look at you and be like, all right, Willie, man, okay, I see you doing your thing, but you ain't no bigger than me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not no bigger than nobody else. Like the one thing that, man, like the thing that F.O.C.U.S probably revealed more than me that than I really thought before probably coming in is that like you gotta believe in a higher power, man. Because the things that you see that I've seen done can only come through faith, right? Now I know F.O.C.U.S is and they try to ding me for this before because but F.O.C.U.S is not a faith-based organization. Let me clear that up right now, right? But at the same time, man, you have to believe in something, a greater power than yourself, because the way the world moves is greater than man. It's greater than man. And so if you could, I know you've seen this, and I might not be saying this right, but to the viewers though, but you seen, man, we don't have nothing. F.O.C.U.S don't have nothing. And you seen some of the things that we get done. And you seen how barriers get moved out of the way for F.O.C.U.S. Because as my good friend always says, that F.O.C.U.S is not Willie Pole's, it's God's. And so because it's God's and it's God's plan already, everything that happened for a purpose, right? Hence me going to prison, hence me seeing what's there, hence me getting an understanding of what it is, right? So when I go back, I know what to say. I know what to do. I know how to get through to everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so this is how we start structure. Now we get to start the change. The change start to come because the mindset that was just sitting there on the shelf, now we get it to thinking. Now we got it to reading books. Now we got it reading legal things. Now we got it thinking about a higher power than themselves. Now we got all these moving pieces, right? Because at first you just a person just sitting on the shelf not doing nothing. Now we giving you thought. Now we moving. And that's what F.O.C.U.S does. It moves people from one state to the next state.
So and with that being said, right, I got a little reflective question for you, or scenario, not even scenario question. I would say, like, if you could sit down with the younger version of Willie. I don't know whether they called you Willie or not. They might have called you, I don't know what your nickname was out there, whatever. But the younger version of you, right? And the one who didn't know his purpose or nothing like that in life. Like, what would you say to him?
Now, more than anything, I think I would try to listen to him more to see where he at. You know, instead of trying to like dump something down on him, like I gotta listen to him and see what he really going through. You know, I'm getting my certification in anger management, right? And it tells us that, you know, anger is good, right? And you like, why would anger be good, right? But the anger is a secondary emotion to everything else, right? So sometimes the kids are acting out because it's secondary. It's not first, right? So now we got to find out what's first. What's the problem? Then we can try to address the issue. You see what I'm trying to make with that right there?
Yeah.
If you listen to the kid, if you listen to the youth, they'll tell you the primary factor. They'll tell you why they're acting out. They'll tell you what's going on. And then you're able to help them deal with the primary.
But you know, and I know I get you. I'm going to cut you off. And I had to think about myself, right? And maybe you need to think about yourself, right? And we say we listen to them. But growing up in our era, I don't know if we had that avenue to talk or people wanted us to talk. It was just it's like, here's a direction, you follow direction, and that's it. But like, if somebody would ask me, or if I would ask myself, hey, what's going on? And I would try to listen. To be honest with you, man, sometimes I wouldn't even know where to start.
You just start with your conversation because, like, I listen to these kids every day, man. And if you listen to these kids, they'll tell you where it's at. Like, a lot of times, what I don't like, and I discourage this when people come to Focus. If you want to get on a soapbox and you want to talk to these kids, it's the wrong place. It's the wrong place. You coming over here to get on a soapbox, it ain't going to work. It's not going to work. You got to come in here and you got to be like level to level, eye to eye. Like, ain't no big eyes, no little U's, none of that type of stuff. We coming in here because we want to make a connection, right? But we already been through the people standing on the soapbox telling us, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. And what did it do for us? It went in one ear out the other, right? But when they start listening and you start seeing people's talents, right? So I had a young man, we were doing a paint job, right? You know, I take the kids to try to make them some money and stuff, right? And we had a paint job. And he said, man, I can't paint, man. I don't like painting. I don't do none of this, right? So I said, can we just try? Can we just try? He said, all right, man, I'm going to try. He started painting. Got his little music going, got his little groove going. And then we was knocked out a wall. He said, man, we did that? I'm like, yeah. But the whole time in pain, we was having conversation about his talents and what he wanted to do. He don't want to work for nobody.
Yeah.
Be an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
Once he got finished painting that wall, I said, this is how you become an entrepreneur. You go paint people's houses. You know what I'm saying? You have your own way of doing things. And then you ain't got no boss.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And just listen to him talk, we was able to unfold that he could be a painter. Okay. He could be whatever he wanted to be, but he liked to use his hands.
Okay.
But we realized from the conversation, like he liked to do things that allow him to use his hands and things like that, man. So you got to listen to these kids and have a conversation. But in the same token, it's a strange blend and mix because you're listening, but you're listening and you're trying to give some advice at the same time. It's just not you on a soapbox telling them, you need to go to school, you need to do this, you need to do this. No, because school ain't for everybody. Everybody not going to go that way.
No, school wasn't for me either, man. You know, I used to go to school, like I missed like maybe like 40 days out of a quarter. But it wasn't like I was slow. I just didn't feel like going to school. I wasn't focused.
You ain't focused, but if we can put you on a way that's focused where you can make some money, like a lot of these kids right now, poverty is real, right? Poverty is real. But if you can put them in a mindset where they can make some money and learn and get an understanding, they'll go, man. I'm telling you, they'll go. They'll go.
But you know, and another thing, because I don't want you to miss the opportunity because y'all got something else coming up, man. It's very, 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 very important. Your organization.
what we got is coming up that's very important. We always doing something.
I mean,
So
this one is off the chain important, man. You don't know?
talk to me. Tell me what's happening. You talking about the
The
gala?
gala, man. Y'all got a gala coming up, brother.
Yeah, we got the gala coming up April 24th. But I'm sad to say this year the gala is not going to be open to everybody. It's only going to be open to 150 people because, like, our goal has just been grabbing people and trying to get people to come in to see what Focus is about. And I think we've been doing that. But I think this year we're going to do something more. It's geared towards family.
Okay.
Our thing is geared towards family, right? So all our kids will be performing. They'll be doing all the different jobs that's necessary for this gala. So a lot of times when we bring them galas in, we try to bring people in from outside and try to do it big for the people, right? But this year,
well, could you let the people know that, like, okay, because you're gonna tell them everything, but like let them know the gala encompasses what and does what for the kids, and you know what I mean? Because I went to the gala,
yeah,
and I kind of look. I thought I looked pretty nice at the gala. I was decked out. I like dressed up, right? So I'm like,
at
okay.
our galas, the kids go through etiquette classes to learn how to present themselves and how to we take them out shopping, let them try to go get some dresses and outfits and things like that, so they can see themselves looking like $1 million if they really are. And then we kind of allow them to semi-facilitate the galas, right? But this year we're gonna let them facilitate the galas.
The whole thing.
The way through. Yeah, we just gonna let them do them. And it's not so much about because like I'm not a perfectionist, but I am a perfectionist. So I like to see things done right. And in the last couple years, we've been striving for so much for perfection that we've been coming out with imperfection. And people may not have noticed, but at the same token, I've noticed that, like, sometimes all the kids are not being able to get because somewhere something always goes wrong where we're not able to let all the kids display their talents and do everything. So this year we're not gonna try to go so much to the masses. We're just gonna invite 150 people, $75 a ticket. If they get in, they get in. If you don't get in, I'm sorry, you're gonna miss this one. But it's really gonna be a blessing. It's really gonna be a blessing this year because we empowering these youth, and this is the future, man. This is our future. So it's like we have to pour into them for real, for real. We got our handful of supporters out the community. I got to shout out to Mayor Bolingbrook because Miss Mary, she take care of business. She take care of business with all the organizations. She's always trying to be there for Focus. We got the chief of the police. We honoring him this year at our gala because he always shows up for us. Whatever events we having, he like, if it's Focus, he popping out. We got a couple of executive chief of staff for some of the politicians because them are the ones that's always there for us. Sometimes it's not, the politicians and everybody can't be there, but them chief of staffs is the ones that come through and try to help or navigate whatever we can, right?
Right.
So we want to celebrate them. But not only do we want to celebrate them, we want to celebrate our youth. So we got our youth awards and stuff for the most improved youth because, in our program, it take about a year for us really to get through to some of these kids, man. I'm sorry. It take us about a year. And I know people like, why would it take a year? Because you got to break it all the way back down. It's like an onion. You want to peel that whole onion to the middle and then put it back together and bring it back, So it takes us a lot. So some of these kids need to be recognized, these youth recognized. They not fighting every day. Maybe they fight once a month, maybe they fighting every 6 months, whatever. But at the same token, they ain't doing the same thing every day no more, and they starting to learn. And I heard one of the little girls say the other day, she said, I always say, stop doing that goofy stuff. She said, I ain't did nothing goofy. She said, I ain't did nothing goofy in a long time. And I appreciate them. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. I do. So we're gonna honor them, and that's April 24th. If you go to Focus, F.O.C.U.O.S.org, you can purchase you a ticket for $75. So you get a meal, and you're gonna come out, and you're gonna be blessed. Period.
But not even just to purchase the ticket. If people can't get the ticket, then they can still support because these children they need you can support because these children, they go and get tuxedos. You know, you were paying for tuxedos and people come up short. You getting shoes and things like that. So I mean, you know, I want to reach out to the public, and for those people that are listening or may listen or get online or whatever the case may be, and y'all have the means and the resources, then tap in. You know, reach out to Focus. See what you can do. See if you can donate something. See what kind of hand you can put in the pot.
Sponsor
And you don't,
kid. You know, come through, sponsor kid, buy a dress for a kid, buy a suit. You know, I just been blessed because, you know, I was raised by Liz Campbell. So we didn't have much as kids and stuff. So we didn't have much. So it was like, now, you know, like I'm not like enamored by all that type of stuff. So I've been, by the grace of God, man, I've been fortunate that like my jobs and things allow me to be in a position. I'm an entrepreneur. So I'm not rich or nothing like that, but I have a little something, you know, as long as I pay my bills and my kids and my family is good, I'm good. I don't mind helping the next family. I don't mind helping nobody. So if somebody is struggling, you know, we gonna try to make it happen. And like I told you, I'm Liz Campbell's son, so she'll help. Somebody else will help. Somebody else will help. You know, and that's what we do, man. And that's why, like, I can't get away from this. Like, Focus is like, it's just grassroots family, man. It's just glad. That's why it's like, you know, you kept saying program, organization. It's family. You know, you'd have been a part of Focus, so you already know how it is. With everybody doing everything, going to feed the homeless and doing different things, and you know.
So and then doing that, man, because you know, I know we talked about it. It's like, and this one thing is, I got maybe two questions I was interested in when we talked about it. I know your transition and stuff, and you mentioned the police chief, the mayor, you know, people of that nature. Like coming from out of the situation, come from out of the joint, right? And to be in the organization now, you rubbing elbows, you sitting at the table, politicians, community leaders, and things of that nature, right? Just got two questions. How you feel about that in your situation, and is it a struggle, or how does that work?
Nah, man. I mean, initially, you know, you start thinking of police because I think about how I got arrested and how like that John Burgess situation. You know, they do a lot of underhand, dirty type stuff to get people convicted of crimes, right? Mm-hmm. And you know, but at the same token, I met this guy that was in prison that was a Chicago police officer, right? Okay. And he's like one of my best friends to this day, right? He's my mentor. And he let me see that everybody just human. Everybody is human. So it's not so much to the fact that like I'm mad at them because they the police or nothing. I'm mad at you because you don't do what you're supposed to do. Like right now, the election is coming up in Bolingbrook right now, and you know, election everywhere. And if everybody don't forget them people that took the bus from us, you know what I'm saying? Them bad people, right?
Facts.
So why should I be mad at the police when the people that took the bus from these little kids on Christmas, you know what I'm saying, to make a point, you know what I'm saying? These are politicians, right? And they want to make a point. Them the bad people. So I'm not mad at the police. That's good guys. Like our chief, he a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he was a bad guy like John Burge, yeah, I'm mad at him. You know what I'm saying? But he not. He coming to the events and he trying to talk to him, do whatever he can, right? And having conversations he having real life conversations like about bettering the relationships between police and the citizens. Real conversations. Now, we can't fault him for everyone, the people that work up under him, right?
Right.
So, but we can fault them people that took that bus from us, and we can vote them out of office. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can put somebody else in that seat.
Yeah, that's you know what, that's very important, man. And I like the fact that you are in tune with how not just business run, how society is running, how the dynamics of the situation, and more so, I just commend you for all the effort and work you put it. And let me tell you something, I can't just say you, man. You got a whole team, and I'm gonna tell you, I gotta give a shout out to Ivy over there too, man. Because I remember where you forget.
Yeah, I mean, like it's more so it's me and her more than anything, but it's still the dynamics of everybody that comes with that. Like, you
Yeah,
know how it is. Like, even if you putting 2 cents in, like Miss Peggy come over there and sit with the kids just to sit there, put sandwiches together. Like, every kid come to our program, we never know when they might it might be their only meal, so we put foods together. Miss Roz, Miss Kim, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody that comes with that, Corinthia, everybody that comes with that. And then our families, because our families got to make a sacrifice, allowing us to do the things that we do with these
right.
kids, because we do a lot with these kids. Now, I'm not taking from no one individual person. I can't forget Chris, you know, um,
Yeah, yeah.
and and everybody that come through, like, it's on volunteer basis and nobody's getting paid. That's the biggest thing right here. Like, one day I hope that we're able to financially maintain and pay our staff and things like that. But right now, everybody coming from a volunteer standpoint, and the most beautiful thing is that it's coming off a vision that I had. You know what I'm saying? And everybody is like buying into it, and it's that's why it's bigger than us, man. It's a
And
God given program.
and as you say that, because I'm a close up soon, but I'm gonna give you an opportunity. I'm gonna leave on two questions, and I'm gonna give you the opportunity to go ahead and answer it because I think that's very important for it to come strictly from you, right? One would be, what advice would you give to a young person who feels they're lost right now, right? And to follow up on that, to close it out, what is your vision? What is your vision for the future of Focus? I'm gonna give you a few minutes for yourself to do that.
The one thing I tell everybody wherever I go, schools, whatever, prisons or whatever, right? I don't mess with goofies. If you can't think for yourself, I really don't want to be around you in that type of instance, right? If you're just a goofy just doing stuff, I really don't want to be with you in that type of capacity, right? But I surround myself with people like I got my big brothers, my mentors. All of us call him St. Louis, but his name is Al. My homie T, my homie Najee, John Hersey, Disco, just Jacob Chambers, all my people. You know what I'm saying? You surround yourself around people of like-minded, and that's not what I call goofies. People that could think, and you surround yourself about them, and they're gonna pour into you, and you're gonna pour into them. It's like a conversation you be having, and it's a conversation where you grow from, and you just can't be the only smart person in the room, man. You got to put yourself around a lot of smart people and listen to them. My homie JT, um, my new mentor Vic, Victor Zach, you know what I'm saying? And so you just keep building. Lorenzo Loudon. I can keep on going, naming people that I allow to be in my circle with me. And I'm not the smartest person in the circle, right? So that's what I would tell these kids right now. Like, don't be put yourself in a situation where you got family, brothers, sisters around you that's gonna help you make some good decisions in life, because we already know what you can just watch TV and see some of the bad decisions that people are making. And a lot of them, if you notice, it's a common sense is that they have to shake they surroundings. They got to shake their people. They got to shake them. They got to shake them. So that's basically what I would tell them. But our vision is just hoping to one day make a difference, because like we're not gonna be here forever, and I want to have a brighter future for my kids, right? So if I can help put one person on the right track, that one person could help another person put another person on track. You said, Ives, you always say each one teach one. That's what we do. Each one teach one. If we can teach one of these kids, we can teach somebody else can teach, they can teach another person. So we just keep that going. That's my vision right there. My vision is just seeing the world in a better place than it is when I was here, if I can, because we can keep going backwards or we can go forward. And I'd rather see everybody go forward. So with that being said, I'm going to keep educating myself to educate others.
Okay. Hey, really, let me tell you something, man. I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate you spending time with us. Letting the public know what's going on. Y'all are doing a
Get
great
out and
job.
vote. If everybody want to make a difference, get out there and vote, right? Get out there and vote. If it's not pretty to what you like, get them people out of office and put somebody else in and let them see. And if they don't do what they do, get them out of office. But give somebody else a fresh chance, a fresh start if you don't like what they're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? So
For sure.
I'm getting
For
out there,
sure.
I'm voting, and I'm trying to put some new people in the Will County board. I'm just letting y'all know that Will County board, and we're gonna see some new faces in there. So if you see an old person that been in there for a long time, they need to go.
Hey, y'all,
They took the bus from us.
well, I tell y'all what, everybody, y'all done heard it. Y'all done heard it from Mr. Willie. You done heard about F.O.C.U.S. Willie, I thank you for coming out, man. I appreciate you. And hey, anytime you need me to do something for you, man, we can work something out, then I'm there for you. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, bro, and thank you for this opportunity. And I know you got a plethora of talents. Like, you a prime example of focus. Focus on critically using our skills to be productive citizens in society. And that's what you're doing. You're using your natural God-given talents, bro. You got a lot of them. And I just want to see you flourish in them. From the storybooks from the books to the poems to now with your podcast, everything that you got going on with the movie coming up, whatever. I'm just hoping that, that you're successful in everything that you got your hands on, bro.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it, man. I really thank you, man. And I'm gonna leave out with these notes for myself. I'm gonna tell y'all, it's stories like yours and what you do in the society that don't just kind of remind us, that reminds everybody that transformation is real.
Yeah.
You're not always who you used to be, and when people look at you, you can change. And when you change their direction, it can be a ripple effect that can affect the entire community. So programs like F.O.C.U.S are proof that when mentorship and guidance and opportunity come together, the next generation can rise. And I appreciate you for helping bring the next generation up, man. So
We
with
got
that,
to keep it going. We got to keep it going and just keep the relationship. Even though we in Bolingbrook, we got brothers over there in Joliet that got programs. We got Jerron over there. We got neighbors over there. We got people in Chicago. We got different. We just got to keep it going, though. You know what I'm saying? And keep supporting each other and keep reaching out to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, man, that this is powers and brothers just checking in with and sisters checking in with each other. Just checking in. Hey, you up? You good? You got this? You got that? And sharing that information, man. And sharing the information so that we can expand this,
And that's what the podcast is about. I'm checking in with people with the unspoken voice. Whereas though they got something to say, I'm giving you a platform that you can speak freely about it. You ain't got to be worried or ashamed or nothing like that. It's a family.
Yeah.
So with that, man, we're gonna sign off. We're gonna tell the good folks good night and thank you. Hey, and as always, come on back to the Unspoken Voices where your voice matters and can be heard.
This has been the Unspoken Voices Podcast with Chuck Ellis, where silence is broken, truth is spoken, and healing begins. So remember, your voice matters, your pain has purpose, and your story deserves to be heard.
So until next time,
stay connected,
stay encouraged,
and know that your voice is never alone.